It's now 41 minutes past 6 o'clock, and tomorrow morning, a group of relatives is gathering in Millstream to learn more about their ancestors. 91-year-old Jean Holder is celebrating 9 generations of Holders who have lived in Holderville on the Kingston Peninsula since 1783. It's a bit of a teach-in that is expected to bring her ancestors to life. We've reached Jean Holder at her home in Millstream, along with her niece, Barb Fullerton, who's been a huge help in bringing this project together. Good morning to you both.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
So, Jean, tell me about what will be happening at your place tomorrow.
Well, we're expecting about 20 people altogether, more or less, and everybody is reading a part about one of their ancestors. So we'll be mentioning about 20 of our ancestors.
What made you want to do it this way?
Barb, you talk.
Okay. Well, it was Aunt Jean's idea that, and her valuing of history to preserve our family history, and the idea that we each choose a different relative sort of broadens the scope of who can be presented. So each one of us has dug into researching one character, and so we have a lot of biographical information on them. Because we have a lot of family resources accessible to us through diaries and letters, etc. And this way, those of us who are here will learn about each character that we're each representing rather than just going and reading the diaries and letters, etc. on our own.
Well, that's a really nice way of dividing up the work.
Yeah, and I think we'll get more focus on each character that way.
Now, do I understand some people will actually be acting out the characters?
Well, many of us are assuming the persona, so we'll be speaking in the voice of the character. And I expect there will be some costuming and props, etc., involved as well.
How far back do some of these ancestors go that you'll be presenting tomorrow?
The ones being presented tomorrow, we're starting with Abraham Bellier Holder, who was born in 1817. And then the youngest one being presented is Marjorie Henderson Bannister, and she was born in 1898. So we span quite a few years in there.
Jean, you'll be telling the story of one of your ancestors tomorrow. Can you tell us a little bit about that person?
About Edwin Jacob Holder was born in 1824, and he married Hannah Parrott, and they had 8 children altogether. And he became a sea captain, and his wife went with him, and his daughter, Amelia, who was only 11 years old at the time, but the mother was sick, and Amelia helped take care of her mother on the trip, and they went to Gibraltar and Cuba and different places like that. They were away for 8 or 10 months. And she died when they got back to St. John in 1868. And she was buried at the Longreach Church.
That's a pretty interesting character to have to research. What kinds of resources did your family use in finding out the information about these folks?
Well, we have extensive work done on the family tree, so we have a lot of biographical information that way. And because the Holders were seafaring people, many sea captains in the family, because they were away so much, they communicated with their families back home through letters. And those letters and diaries have been preserved by subsequent generations of our grandmother, great-grandmother, mothers, aunts, sisters, cousins, brothers, etc. Everybody has, through the generations, taken care to preserve the diaries and letters and transcribe them so that we do have a very rich resource of information available to us.
And some of these ships were built at Holderville. Tell them about
Yes, there were several shipbuilding spots on the Kingston Peninsula, and up to 300 ships were built during that historical era. It was a very vital part of the provincial economy and definitely the local economy there. So, and they did sail all over the world, Ireland, Scandinavia, the Mediterranean, South America, Australia. So it was a very...
Russia,
right.
You have a family that obviously has some very interesting stories in it. What advice do you have for families who might be interested in doing the same thing and don't know the interesting stories that are in their family tree?
Right. Well, a great deal of it has to do with preservation of the materials that are in existence. So if a family does have letters and diaries, etc., it would be advisable to make sure they're copied and spread around amongst the family so that they can be saved and not be lost, and not to toss things out that may seem unimportant at the time, but they are primary historical documents. And there are a lot of online resources through the Provincial Archives of New Brunswick and census reports. You can find a lot of information through that as well. Well,
I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for telling us about it.
Thank you very much.
That's 91-year-old Jean Holder and her niece Barb Fullerton. They'll be hosting a family historical event at Jean's home in Millstream tomorrow. It's 12 minutes before 7 o'clock. Here are a few events.